against you. I feel like you have a tougher hill to climb. Uh, it in a position like me and like other fellow wrestlers that are in my position as well, because I look at it as having already two strikes against you, and then I add the third strike with being a woman. So it's always tougher for us. But I use it as motivation. I definitely.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
What's up, everyone? It is Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. I am, of course, Nickie Booshie, your senior writer and host for this evening, and I am so excited to have an up-and-coming star in the wrestling world. We welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, Avery Jax.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's been a good day. How are you?
Everything is moving, just came back from all the craziness of WrestleMania.
Right.
So I know when I travel, I like to have a good playlist. So just starting with some quick questions, what songs do you have on repeat right now?
Oh, songs on repeat right now. Yeah, I like variety of music, but T.I. is my favorite artist. So anything by T.I. is probably 9 times out of 10 playing in my ears.
Okay.
I also love my gospel. So my playlist got range. Definitely have range.
We love range. Now, speaking of that range, you can give us a couple, but who would you say are some of your favorite artists, all time and now?
My favorite all-time artist, Michael Jackson. Gotta give it to Michael Jackson, King of Pop. I love him. Love all his music.
Yes.
T.I., of course, my favorite rapper. Whitney Houston. Also really like Tori Kelly. Beyonce,
Yes.
Cliche with the Beyonce. But yeah, that's just to name a few.
Yes. Now, we all loved a good travel. So what would you say is your best vacation destination?
I always wanted to go to Spain. So I before I die, I gotta get to Spain.
Look, speak it.
Yeah.
You're speaking it now. Now, we all grew up, watching TV and having some very different celebrities that we were very intrigued by. Who would you say was your childhood celebrity crush? You can pick a couple.
My celebrity crush. Definitely was crushing on I don't want to be like repetitive, but I was crushing on T.I. But once I started realizing my sexuality,
yes,
turned into Beyonce, really crushing on her. And Demi Lovato.
Okay.
Yes.
I love that you bring that up too, because we'll get into that a little later. Now, my favorite holiday is Halloween. So I want to know, did you have any favorite Halloween costumes that you wore as a kid or maybe even in your adult life?
My favorite costume, I went as Becky Lynch probably, I want to say it was 2 years ago. I mean, I had the orange wig, I had the raw belt, the leather. I went all in. That was my favorite costume. That was my most fun costume.
We need pictures of those.
I might have some in there.
We need some pictures of those. Now, when you're traveling or on the road or just at home bored, especially during the pandemic, which was crazy time, what were some of your favorite shows to binge watch?
American Dad. That's my comfort show. I watch American Dad. I've probably seen it like over 10 times, the whole entire series. I just watch it. Once it's over, I just rewatch it, season 1, episode 1. Also SpongeBob. I love me some SpongeBob. I don't care. SpongeBob grew up with me. I will forever love that show. Those are my 2 main favorite shows that I like to binge watch. But if you talk about like a series or acting show, I have to give it to Legends of Tomorrow. That's just a great show.
I've heard about that.
It keeps me so entertained. So
yeah,
definitely.
Okay. And last rapid question before we get out of here, because I just like to know this from everyone. We normally get the same answer, so I want to see if yours is a little different. But if you had a superpower, any superpower, you only get one, what would it be?
Yes. If I had a superpower. I'd say speed. I would say the super fast speed so I can travel faster, get to my destination faster.
Okay, we haven't had that one. A lot of people say time travel, but speed is different
Speed.
because you're
I don't want to go
still,
back in time because I like the mystery of the future, and I already been through
yes.
the past, so I need the speed. I want to go to Spain, get there in 5 seconds.
Listen, I like that because you did say
Mm-hmm.
Spain is on the passport coming soon.
It
So
is.
I gotta ask, of course, this is Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one
Mhm.
women's wrestling show on the planet.
Net.
So I'm very curious. I've been following you for a couple months now, and I wanted to know what really got you into wrestling.
I've always been a fan of watching wrestling,
Mhm.
and I didn't have the dream of becoming a wrestler actually until recently. Probably I want to say 2018. 2018, I started really I got back into watching it, started really making a character for myself and everything, trying to come up with names and everything. And then once I got out of the military, I figured why not, and I just searched up schools, and here I am.
That's awesome. Now you speak of the military. What do you take away from what you learned from the military, and how do you imply that in the ring and with training?
Definitely listening and the discipline that comes with the military. It correlates to the ring very well because you have to listen in there, listen to the vet, listen to the ref, and a lot the crowd to feed off of their energy, and the discipline to be humble and to take in that information and not show off and not get into your head and all that stuff. So it helps a lot.
Absolutely. Now you spoke about Becky Lynch when we talked about your Halloween costume, and I think
Mhm.
that's just absolutely amazing. Talk about some of the biggest influences you've had and even inspirations of people or just things or places that really got you into the ring.
Um, my favorite wrestler, RBD, Rob Van Dam. I definitely was inspired by him, his high flying capabilities. Um, I'm a high flyer, so and actually, I ain't gonna lie, I took his pose a little bit. I definitely got the pose. So, um, women wrestler Lita, Becky, Mercedes Monet. Those three are like my main inspiration to get into the ring and do what I do.
Absolutely. And I mean, even speaking of Mercedes Monet,
Hmm.
she's obviously become one of the biggest attractions on the indies right now, New Japan Pro
Hmm.
Wrestling. And I'm curious, is along with her, I'm sure, who are some other people in the industry that you would love to have a dream match with maybe one day?
Definitely, she's number one on my list for sure. Mickie James, I would love to have a match with her. I just love her energy. I love her style. I love everything about Mickie James. Um, more on the indie scene. Trisha Dora, uh, Gia Scott, Kylan King, people like
Hmm.
that. Definitely want to have a match. Seeing them work in firsthand, I was like, oh, I want to get in the ring with them. So those are a couple.
That's a good one because you recently just had a match with Damaris Dawkins. I don't
Hmm.
want to butcher her name. And that match was really good. Now, you may have not gotten the win with that, but you still took away, I mean, you being a high flyer, the agility, we saw the ring ability, and we
Hmm.
also saw a lot of character. So, with that being said, who would you say has been your favorite and even your toughest opponent thus far in your career?
My toughest opponent, I'll have to give it to Billy Dixon
Mm,
because he pushes me. He pushed me to my limit every time.
yeah,
Every single time. I wrestled him twice so far, and every single time I've been like, can I do this? But he pushes me in a good way, and
yes.
we always produce magic. So he's my toughest. My favorite. Um, Damaris was really fun. That was a very fun match. It was face to face, so we were doing a lot of crowd work. It was very fun. But my favorite had to be my debut with Jordan Blade,
Hmm.
just because it gave me the confirmation that I needed to know that I'm in the right business and doing the right thing.
I love that. I love that. That's a good takeaway. Now, you spoke briefly about your sexuality earlier.
Mhm.
Me, someone who comes from the community as well, and also being Black, it is
Mhm.
very difficult sometimes being in the world of wrestling. Sometimes you're even made fun of or not finding the right outlet. So, just take a minute and talk about being Black, but also being Black in the community, and being a wrestler, and how some of the takeaways, some of your struggles, and even some advice that you would give other people in the industry of the community.
Yeah, you mentioned being Black and also being in the LGBTQ community. It's very difficult because a lot of people are against you. I feel like you have a tougher hill to climb uh it in a position like me and like other fellow wrestlers that are in my position as well, because I look at it as having already two strikes against you, and then I add the third strike with being a woman. So it's always tougher for us. But I use it as motivation. I definitely do. I use it to show, like, I'm still the same person, and I can still give you a show. I can still put butts in the seats, and I can still hang with the big dogs. And it doesn't matter what your sexuality is or any of that, what your race is. As long as you put out the best product and be the best you, then it doesn't matter. My advice is just to not worry about what other people think so much, because I did that early on in my life and wasn't able to live my true life and be my true self. And once I started not ignoring, but started worrying about myself more than others, it definitely allowed me to flourish and become, the Avery Jax that you know now.
Absolutely. And I love that advice. And this can also be applied to anyone, really, in the community and,
Mhm.
of course, outside of wrestling. So, talk about what you enjoy the most outside of the ring. And maybe does Avery Jax have any hidden talents that we don't know about?
I enjoy time with my family. I love time with my family. Every chance I get, I try to be with my family. I love playing the video games. Not gonna lie, I'm a video game head. Like, probably when we get off this interview, I'm probably gonna play the game.
What
But
do you play? Like, what are you playing right now? And what do you say is the best system out there?
all right, so I was an Xbox loyalist for a very
Okay.
long time,
Fair,
but
fair.
I recently made the switch to PlayStation, and I am in heaven.
Wow.
I'm not gonna bash Xbox,
Okay.
so I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Yeah.
But I love my PlayStation.
I love that. Now, what games are you currently playing, and what games do you have in rotation?
Okay, so there's NBA 2K, WWE 2K, The Last of Us, and there's Hogwarts Legacy, that new game. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but I play that game religiously.
Listen, the gameplay I watch on Twitch. I have a few of my friends that
Mhm.
stream. I'm looking into getting a system myself, so I'm asking around. But that gameplay is serious on
It's
Hogwarts.
Look, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, and now we playing that game.
Yeah.
I'm more into it. My wife is hard down Harry Potter fan.
Oh,
I play it way more than her.
yes.
She be getting mad because I be unlocking stuff before her.
Oh my God. Now I have to ask before we move on
Mhm.
to, back to a little wrestling.
Sure.
I know this is going to be tough, but what is the greatest game to you of all time?
The greatest game, as in video
Like
game.
the greatest video game of all time. Like if you were stranded on the island and you had your system, whether it was the Xbox or the PS, doesn't matter. If you had only one game, you have one game. What are you picking? I'm just curious.
What am I picking? I'm gonna have to say Sonic. I love Sonic growing up.
Okay.
I used to play on the GameCube all the time. I don't know. It's so simple. You're just running through a town collecting coins, but it's so fun to me. I don't know. I even have my gear inspired by Sonic, so I have to give it to Sonic.
That's awesome. That's a good choice. I
Mhm.
know for me, like, I don't think Grand Theft Auto Vice City gets enough. That was one of my
I agree.
favorite games
Grand Theft
growing
Auto
up.
was gonna come second for me. I
Yeah.
was I was in my head. I'm like, Grand Theft Auto.
It's just, I mean, you build longevity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of longevity, going back to your career, what are a few goals that you want to accomplish in, short term and long term as you enter in being a rising star here in this industry that just continues to move?
Long-term goal is to definitely wrestle for TV. I definitely want to put my talent out there for the world to see. Short-term goal, I really just want to make my mark in the indies, and show that a woman like me and my physique and my background, my history can make it and can do things that, other people can do. Like a lot of people growing up, doubted me, kind of laughed at my dreams and all that type of stuff. I'm here to show that, I'm accomplishing those dreams and I'm doing everything that I set out to do.
Absolutely. Well, look who's laughing now.
Yeah, okay? Right.
When they see
I'm
on
gonna put
the
it in
big
a song
screen.
one day. I'm gonna put it in a song.
Yes. Now, you've worked with Savannah Ray, who is a dear friend to the show and the page as well. What have you taken away from that, and how do you learn off of each other being in the industry? And what are some of the because I can just tell she's hilarious. What are some funny moments, like hilarious moments that you have with her? Just share your experience with her.
Oh, Savannah's like a sister to me. Definitely. We've grown close in this business. From the first day I met her, a fellow Black woman in the industry, I was like, oh yes, we got to stick together. She's great. I learned so much. I learned the hustle from her. She's everywhere doing everything. And I am trying to be exactly where she is. I'm trying to be right next to her. She's helped me a lot in my career, and I'm very grateful and I appreciate her for that. She's hilarious too. We always just talk and goof around a lot,
Yeah.
We don't hang out much because, we're both so busy. But when we do, it's a great time.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. I'm gonna meet both of you guys one day. She actually is the reason why this happened.
Yes, so, I know. She reached out to me and told me. I was like, okay.
Very excited about that. I was surfing through. I like to see, because I'm a little new to the indie scene myself, and I'm always like looking, especially for Black women in the indie scene, to just come on the show and talk and just really be able to give a spotlight and give exposure, because it's all about, we have to work with each other. With that being said, you are here for a reason, so I have to ask, why are you the one to watch in 2023?
Oh, I haven't gotten that question. I'd say I'm the one to watch because I'm going to give my all, 100%, 150% every time, everywhere I am at. I'm going to show, I want to be that inspiration for that little kid in front of the TV who thinks that they can't, who thinks that they won't, who think that they'll never. I want to be that person. I want to show them that they can, that they will, and that they are able to. And I'm definitely going to give my all. I'm going to do everything that I can to put out the best product and look good doing it.
That is absolutely amazing. And here at Women's Wrestling Talk, we will be following your career. We can't wait to see what's next from you. Any last or final words? Anybody you want to call out? Anything? You have the floor.
I just gotta give all my success to my trainers, Dante Bishop, Elijah Friday, Billy Dixon, Jordan Blade, Wes Rogers. I'm trained by. It's a lot of hands in the pot, but we create a good product. We create a good character, and they make me who I am. They mold me to be the best. Definitely want to shout out my training school, Primetime Wrestling Alliance in Yorktown, Virginia. So if you guys are in Virginia area, come check us out. We're always welcoming new faces. Also, if you want to get some Avery Jax merch, I didn't wear this for the plug, by the way, but some Avery Jax merch, you guys can go to brainbustertees.com/Avery-Jax. And also you can follow me on Twitter at it's Kyra. That's AYE. It's KYRA. And also Instagram at It's Avery Jax.
Absolutely, you guys. Well, make sure you follow Avery Jax. She is definitely on the rise. And we thank her again, and for you for all your support here at Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.